I want to ask you some stuff about jiu-jitsu versus wrestling while we got you here
Yeah.
also. There's always a little bit of a debate about it. I've always kind of been of the opinion that jiu-jitsu guys like wrestling more than wrestlers like jiu-jitsu. And, I think it's because in jiu-jitsu, there's we don't really stand up. We like to pretend like we do some stand up, like we know
Sure.
some
Yeah.
takedowns and all that. But I'm wondering from your perspective, what do you think kind of the difference between a jiu-jitsu guy and a wrestler is?
I just to be 100% honest, I think wrestling, jujitsu draws a really different crowd, and I think the crowd that it draws is guys that weren't successful in wrestling and want to go to jujitsu, or were successful also and want to go to jujitsu and lay on their back. Craig Jones. So I think the difference between me going to jujitsu is I think wrestling is really, really hard, and you have to stay on your feet. You have to grind out matches. You have to have that will inside of you to finish matches. Also, in jujitsu, there's a lot of breaking spots where you can sit on your butt. You can maneuver in different spots. You can grab leg locks. You can grab hips. You can move around in different ways. And wrestling is just so hard to get to one spot and stay there like jujitsu. So there's a lot of differences in it, but I think both have their own skill bases. A lot of wrestlers have gone to jujitsu and have not done well, and so it's just a time thing. And if you're gonna buy into something, just buy into it fully, and I think you can accomplish anything with that mindset.
Definitely. Have you kind of started any jiu-jitsu specific training for this, or kind of been into like a local gym there or anything like that, getting ready for
Yeah,
this?
yeah. I've been in the local gyms. I mean, I train every day, and I add in jujitsu along the way. A lot of my stuff is MMA based, but also I still stay in the wrestling room at the Minnesota Gopher Room, and I go to a lot of jujitsu classes also. So I'm thankful to have the guys that have been helping me to prepare for this match and to prepare for future MMA matches. And if I get in positions that I'm not comfortable with, I can excel in them.
Yeah, you did hit the nail on the head there though with jiu-jitsu guys are like, the reason I like jiu-jitsu is because when it comes down to it, I can just lay down. I start getting a little tired. I start getting, a little winded. Maybe my legs are a little shaky, and it's like, all right, bro, time to lay down and just act like I'm all about the guard. And, I love the
Yes.
jiu-jitsu side of things. So, that's one of the biggest upsides. You ever taken
Sure.
advantage of that? You ever mess around with just laying down and seeing what it's like? It's nice.
No, I see. I'm not used to laying down and being on my back and taking that break. Like I said, wrestling, especially in the NCAA level, you have 7 minutes, and a collegiate you have 6 minutes to go out there and just brawl. And that's the style I liked. I didn't like the fancy, flashy super ducks and hitting the leg locks with the arm around. You got to flip your legs and capture his backside. I was just a brawler, and that's what I liked about my style about wrestling, is because when I feel like a guy's gonna concede and lay on his back, that made me wanna be like a fish in the water, or not be a shark in the water and go out there and attack. So that was my thing whenever I see a guy getting too comfortable on his back. And but also in this game, a lot of guys can bait you and be comfortable on their back and catch you in bad spots. So just knowing that tempo and knowing where to go is the right thing too.